So what's good, TMG fam? It's your boy L, and I'm back with another reaction. How y'all feel? Welcome back to the channel. Salute. So real quick, I got it queued up right here. Shout outs to Kipsy03, bro. Bro said something in the comment section today, and I was like, you know what? He was like, bro, crazy. One side of the country is in flames, and the other side is frozen. That's what we dealing with right now. That's exactly what we're dealing with right now, and it's crazy. So let's get to it. Remember, question everything you should. And this is for entertainment purposes only. Let's check it out. Now, I'm gonna show you something that hurt my heart that some of y'all probably didn't catch. Probably most of y'all didn't catch because you haven't been a truck driver before, right? But I caught it, and I used to drive for this company. I used to drive for this company right here. But I'm gonna show you something that hurt my heart. Let me see if I can get to it real quick. Right about here. Now, does it say it there? I'm trying to see if it says it. Yes, it does, bro. Oh, this hurts my heart. Now, I used to drive for Warner, bro. That's actually the company that gave me my start, and I stayed with them my entire time driving. Bro, this person here is a million miler. A million miler. You see it right there on the door. That person has driven 1,000,000 miles or more safely. Hasn't gotten no accidents or anything like that. Bro, that hurts my heart to see him. I know he's sick. He or she, whoever is in that driving that, I know they're sick, bro. That just ruined their 1,000,000-miler streak right there. You know what I mean? And I know that may not mean a whole lot to some people, bro, but that's a pretty huge accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? That is a very huge accomplishment right there, bro. To be safe that many miles driving says a lot. And now for you to be in this, bro, listen, fam, when the conditions is bad, bro, just pull it over, man. Get to your truck stop. That load can be late. I know I used to be a stickler about being late. I never wanted to be late, but in these conditions, bro, because it don't be you. It be somebody else that caused this whole pile up to happen. It's always like that, bro. But this right here, that hurt my heart to see a 1,000,000-miler like that.
As long as we have big government, we're gonna need big corporate farms and feedlots. And let me tell you why. So last night I was playing around on sam.gov, which is where the public can bid on government contracts. And just for fun, I just put in the search bar meat. And I found that there are at least 50 contracts open for the government buying meat specifically for the USDA meal program. And I clicked on a couple of them, and it was really interesting because the first one I clicked on was delivery into several points in California, and the minimum quantity was 1,000,000 pounds of ground beef. 1,000,000 pounds of ground beef. That is a lot of ground beef. And no small butcher facility could ever fill that. It's just too much. So
that sucks for small businesses like that, small farms, bro. It almost feels like they're getting pushed out the way. You know what I mean? Like, the little guy. It's just like they can't make a living. You got to be doing large quantities, and some people don't want to do that type of stuff, bro. They want to keep it small and still be able to maintain and live that life. But that's crazy. Shout outs to all the small businesses, man. We rooting for y'all.
So, and then I clicked on another one. It was for pork. It was for pork shoulder butts. I think this one was for a prison system. They wanted something like 30,000 pounds. But what was interesting is it specified that it had to be a Smithfield product. Well, that raises a ton of flags right there. First off, Smithfield is Chinese owned. Second of all, that means that no small shop could produce that product. And I can think of a couple innocent reasons why the government would do that. One, they've got a bunch of, let's just say, low-level cooks in those prison kitchens, and they want that pork all the same and uniform. And the problem with local agriculture is you get variance, you get variety. It's really hard to produce a large amount of one cut that's exactly the same, because that means you gotta have cattle exactly the same, or you have to have enough product where you can sort out and sort all your prime rib, primals, your shoulders into exact same quantity lots, right? So as long as the government is going to keep buying and distributing food, right? Remember that 1 million pounds, that's USDA dietary assistance. So that's food banks, that's government feeding the people, right? 1 million pounds of burger for that one contract. As long as that happens, sorry boys, it's gonna be big feedlots and big processing facilities. And you know, if they're gonna make sure that only Smithfield can provide the product, well, we're out of luck.
That can't be good for us, man. That makes me nervous. Like, you know what I mean? That can't be good, fam. Like, if all the small and small businesses, farming businesses go out, bro, and we allow just the major big time corporation farming, like that just doesn't seem too good for us. We already got to worry about certain things that we're eating. It just gives, to me, seems like it just gives way too much control, bro. We need to pay attention to this.
You know, I've been seeing this on my For You page, and I thought it was the only one that thought it was a little unusual lately, but the whole fog thing, and I live in Missouri, but look. Yeah, really, really foggy. I feel like I'm in like some sort of horror movie or something, but yeah, that's what's been going on in Missouri lately. I don't know if it's happening in other states, but here I've been noticing a lot of fog. Kind of weird, but okay. You know,
yeah, she kind of got that Texas Chainsaw Massacre backyard going on right there. Like, she said horror movie, I was already thinking that. Matter of fact, I could see the scene in my mind of somebody running out there in the woods trying to get away from whoever lives in one of these houses there, bro. Yeah. That's a horror scene backyard.
The Simpsons predicted that 2025 would be the most chaotic year in U.S. history. In a little-known episode, Springfield faces a nationwide blackout that plunges the city into complete darkness. The streets are deserted. Markets are looted. Meanwhile, rumors of technological interference begin to surface. The most intriguing scene shows a federal building with lights flickering mysteriously, as if being remotely controlled. But then, something happens. A massive electronic billboard in the main square begins broadcasting a message. Everything is connected. Prepare for the unknown revolution. At the same time, drones start flying over the city, dropping flyers warning about an impending catastrophic event. Panic spreads among the population, and a mysterious figure appears.
Listen, if the Simpsons said it, bro, you might as well book it, bro. You might as well book it. You know it's probably a high chance that it's bound to happen, fam. So that's why as soon as I heard the Simpsons 2025. And it's I've tried to stay away, but it's probably time for me to check out one of those videos. I haven't done one yet, but you know when the Simpsons say it, bro, this is highly likely. It's probably gonna come true, man. They don't miss.
Did anyone else see this yesterday? The 8th of January 25 Austin TX?
That's a weird looking sky, bro. That's a weird looking man, come on. Like, what else do we don't need nothing else. We need to deal with what we got right now. Like, no, bro, no. Please no.
I gotta get this off my chest before the end of the year. If it does not apply, let it fly. On weekends and days where I don't have anything to do, I do Lyft. The amount of times that I come across people with iPhones who are blasting things, right, on their phones. They're watching social media and watching the same video over and over, or blasting phone calls, or whatever the case may be. A couple times, like, they've apologized, like, oh, I'm sorry about the noise. And I'm like, you don't have headphones? And they're like, oh, I lost my AirPods. I'm like, okay, right? But in my mind, I'm like, you can literally go to Five Below and get a pair of $5 backup headphones until you can get a new pair. But when I say capitalism is rotting y'all's brains or your sensibility, a lot of y'all will willingly become walking advertisements for companies that you know don't give a fuck about you. You will pledge your firstborn to a company that you know does not give a fuck about you. They literally create phones that are meant to break after a certain amount of time, so you'll have to get another one. Every time you buy a new phone, there are less things included. Y'all will ride or die for these companies. Why would I pledge my allegiance to a corporation? You would rather be disruptive. You would rather be rude than to go get a pair of backup headphones just because they don't have Apple logo on it. My hope for 2025, going into 2025, is that we will really start dissecting the ways that we have allowed ourselves to become literal fucking robots for corporations that don't care about us and are actually investing in our destruction. You're willing to destroy strings of community for an allegiance to a corporation that demonstrates over and over and over again that it does not give a fuck about human life, that it doesn't care about, paying people properly. Human exploitation over and over again in the factories, in the way that they get the materials, all of it. And you're just like, I don't give a fuck, Apple to the day I die. Oh, they got the wrong text bubble. Like, I'm perplexed about why y'all think this is something to flex about. Child, that's my rant. I held it in all year. Merry New Year. I gotta get this.
I feel you. At the same time, it's, you know what I'm saying? If we're not going to all collectively get together and decide to stop doing something, then it's going to continue. We all have to come together. And as far as I can tell, we have a hard time coming together for anything. So, you know what I mean? Secondly, sometimes, and I don't ride Uber or Lyft much. I can probably count on one hand how many times I've been in an Uber or Lyft. But I do it when I was getting in them because I don't want to talk to nobody. You know what I'm saying? That's when I did it. I don't know about nobody else, but I did it because I don't want to be caught in some awkward conversation with a stranger I don't know. I don't want to do it. So yeah, I had that phone up or have those earbuds in. And yes, I've tried to have the cheap ones, but the cheap ones come with a lot of problems. So yes, I like my Apple AirPods. I do. Them cheap ones, I've tried that because I lost my first pair of Apple AirPods. So my son had got some cheap ones and he was like, Dad, try these. But bro, I was having so many issues with them. So I ended up getting me another pair of, what's the names? But yeah, like, I'm like that. I'm weird like that. I don't be wanting to have a conversation. So I turned it up and be trying to distract myself with what's going on.
Climate change yesterday, and now we're learning that scientists and researchers are looking at how to change the weather on purpose. That's right. Lasers now could one day manipulate rain and lightning. CBS This Morning contributor Michio Kaku is a physics professor at City College of New York. Professor, nice to see you. Extraordinary seeing Al Gore and Bill Clinton there together with Charlie, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, they did not get into this discussion,
no.
though. But it is fascinating. I mean, lasers, really, to change the weather?
That's right. Well, as Mark Twain once famously said, everyone complains about the weather, but no one ever does anything about it. Well, instead of doing a rain dance, we physicists are firing trillion-watt lasers into the sky to actually precipitate rain clouds and actually bring down lightning bolts. This is potentially a game changer.
But this is experimental.
It's experimental. However, in the laboratory so far it works. When you have water vapor and you have dust particles or ice crystals, you can precipitate rain. It condenses around the seeds. These seeds can also be created by laser beams. By firing trillion-watt lasers, you rip apart the electrons, creating what are called ions, and these ions act like seeds, like dust particles, bringing down rain and even lightning. Go ahead.
Well, this fascinates me in part because, too, I remember reading the stories that China had used this during the Olympics, that the USSR had used this after Chernobyl to create rain clouds. I mean, climate change yesterday.
There's no possible way they paid attention or thought about every scenario that could go wrong. And I think a lot of times that's what they don't think about. They think about it a little bit, but they don't exhaust the possibilities and think about every angle of things that could go wrong, bro. This could be good for us. It could be. But I'm more worried about what could go wrong. Like, what if they shoot one of those lasers up there and it never stops raining? It just rains forever. Or it's lightning so much that you can't go outside. Like, you think about that? Like this, so I hope they planning for every possible thing that could go wrong.
We have to go live to Capitol Hill.
In other words, we gave it to them
where
for
President
nothing.
Trump's
The most
speaking.
expensive structure ever built in the history of our country, relatively speaking. The most by far. We lost 38,000 people. They gave it to them for $1, and then they charge more for our ships. It's not going to happen. And China's running the Panama Canal. That's not going to happen either.
Mr. President, on California, Mr. President, during the pandemic, you often said that you didn't believe that you should bail out blue states that you believe were being mismanaged. Given your criticism of Governor Gavin Newsom, are you willing to work with him, and do you believe that federal aid should be provided to California for as long as it takes?
Well, it's very sad because I've been trying to get Gavin Newsom to allow water to come. You'd have tremendous water up there. They send it out to the Pacific because they're trying to protect a tiny little fish, which is in other areas, by the way, called a smelt. And for the sake of a smelt, they have no water. They had no water in the fire hydrants today in Los Angeles. It was a terrible thing. And we're going to get that done. It's going to finally be done. I got it done from the federal side, and he didn't want to sign it, but it's not going to happen again like that. There's no reason. Can you imagine? You have farmers that don't have any water in California. They have plenty of water. They don't have a drought. They send it out to the Pacific, and it's crazy. So what's happening in California is a true tragedy. I know those areas very well. I have many friends living in those houses. That is a true tragedy. Nobody ever thought, virtually.
Bro, I saw one of the videos that I looked at earlier, or it might have been on another video. I don't know. They all running together at this point, but it was a fire truck in front of this, like, I think it might have been a mansion or something like that. And it was like, one of the comments said, why are they not using the water from the ocean? I had no clue that they were out of water and the hydrants weren't working. Now, I looked to see because you usually run LDH, which is large diameter hose, from the hydrant to the truck to keep the truck filled with water. It's 1,000 gallons of water on that truck, and it goes pretty fast. So you want to keep the hydrant connected to it, usually through about 5-inch of water, of hose. And I didn't see that. But I was like, maybe they're shuttling water. A lot of times places will do that too. They'll shuttle. They'll go to the hydrant, come back, go to the hydrant, fill up 1,000 gallons, come back, and they'll do a shuttle with like several trucks. So I was like, maybe they're doing that. So I didn't really think too much about it. But to hear that the hydrants isn't working, yo, that makes things different.
Beverly Hills and areas around Beverly Hills are being decimated. The biggest homes, some of the most valuable homes in the world are just destroyed. I don't even know. You talk about a tax base. If those people leave, you're going to lose half your tax base of California. This is a true tragedy, and it's a mistake of the governor, and you could say the administration. They don't have any water. They didn't have water in the fire hydrants. They don't have water. And yet they have The water comes from, you know where? Up north. And it comes down at levels. They give millions and millions of barrels of gallons of water that they have, and they send it out into the Pacific. For the Pacific, it's like a drop. It's nothing. But for California, it would take care of the whole state. So what's happened is a tragedy, and the governor has not done a good job. With that being said, I got along well with him. When he was governor, we worked together very well, and we would work together. I guess it looks like we're going to be the one having to rebuild it.
Yo, after cutting him down, he was like, you know what? I got along with him. I was like, yo, gosh. But it ain't even about that right now, bro. They need water. They need to get this going, man, and figure something out, bro. This is insane for them not to have water, bro.
But what happened there, I don't think there's anything that I've ever seen quite like it. And the insurance companies are going to have a big problem because you're talking about big, big dollars.
Guidance pardon Liz Cheney. What's your message for President Biden? He said he
I thought it was ridiculous that he did that, but we have more important things to talk about. Liz Cheney was, she lost in the Republican Party, as you know, in her state, by the biggest margin in the history of a politician running for Congress. She lost by like 42 points. Nobody's ever lost like that. So I don't care about Liz Cheney. I care about these people.
President Trump, deportations. What does day one need to look like for the Trump administration?
Number one, we're closing the border. It's going to be closed very strongly. It's going to be closed. And we're going to have to take people out that are criminals. We have people from jails from all over the world and from mental institutions. And as you know, they're going to have to be removed. And it's one of the reasons I won the election in a landslide. The people of this country don't want murderers walking down their farms or their streets or their cities. As you know, we had thousands of people that murdered other people that were in jail that were released into our country. Many of those people murdered more than one person, many of them, about 42% supposedly. We want them out of our country, and we're going to get a country back again, and we're going to be really governed by common sense. These are the principles of common sense. We're not going to be governed by stupid people. We're going to common sense. We're going to be respected all over the world again very soon.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe. The president-elect chose to attack you, blame you for this.
One can't even respond to it. I mean, people are literally fleeing. People have lost their lives. Kids lost their schools. Families completely torn asunder. Churches burned down. This guy wanted to politicize it. I have a lot of thoughts, and I know what I want to say. I won't. I stood next to a president of the United States of America today, and I was proud to be with Joe Biden, and he had the backs of every single person in this community. He didn't play politics, didn't try to divide any of us.
The president-elect chose to attack you, blame you for this.
Okay. Hold on. Am I lost? Or do y'all not see what's going on? Like, am I the only one with the weather? Like, do y'all not care? Or y'all feel hopeless or what? Like, we need to do something. Y'all are just sitting back and watching. I don't know how long it's gonna take y'all to like wake up and like start doing something, but yeah, y'all are weird. Y'all are actually weirdos. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this needs to be a bigger conversation than it is. Like, what? Ugh. Okay.
Yeah, something needs to happen. Our planet is off balance. Our planet's pH balance is off. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's we're in a bad spot right now. You know what I mean? Can we climb out of this rut? I think we can. How? I have no idea. You know what I mean? That's why I put it out there for the world, for everybody to come together and talk about and discuss, voice opinions, how to come up with solutions, all this type of stuff, man. That's what we need right now, because man, it's like when you step out your door, it's like a war zone out there, bro. A war zone of problems and different things happening and going on. And it seems like it's just all at once.
I went deep in the P. Diddy rabbit hole situation. When I say deep, like I went deep. I read court documents, I watched videos, I listened to victims, all of the interviews, all of the things. And the one person, though, that actually surprised me, but when I told a bunch of people, they weren't surprised at all to be a part of the P. Diddy list, was actually Michelle Obama. I grew up in the music of Usher and P. Diddy and Aaliyah and TLC and all of these freaking people. So when I'm telling you that I've gone deep down the rabbit hole, I've gone deep down the rabbit hole because all of the music that I grew up listening to, now I feel a lot differently whenever I hear it come on the radio, and personally, I don't even want to listen to it anymore. Once the floodgates opened about P. Diddy, everything was coming out of the woodworks, right? You have so many people singing now, so many people telling their sides of the story. I've read court documents, I've watched videos, I've listened to interviews, I've listened to interviews of the victims, and like, I've gone deep down the rabbit hole. But there was one person who is accused of being on the Diddy list that actually surprised me, and that was Michelle Obama. Now, I think Obama's also on the list, but it's more so Michelle Obama. Obviously, you have Hillary Clinton on the list, you have Ellen DeGeneres, you have J-Lo, like these people, it makes sense. But Michelle Obama actually surprised me. She really did. But the person who was singing like a songbird, who was actually a victim and was like at these parties just trying to survive, was Allie Carter. If you don't know anything about Allie Carter, look her up on TikTok because she has seen it all. She has seen it all. She has experienced it all. I'm actually shocked that she's still alive. She talks about how, you know, all these little kids were dressed up like Harajuku Barbie dolls, and at the end of the night when you asked for your party favor, it was actually a child that you were getting. Also,
asking for a party favor at a Diddy party just sounds crazy, bro. I don't know what you probably get, but where's this list? Where's the list posted at? Where can you find asking for a friend though? For a friend that may want to see the list. Where's the list at? Put it in the leave a link in the comment section so my friend can go check the list out.
Also, she talks about how there's just like so many deep fetishes that if she threw up, they would rub your face in it. People liked that. People liked if you like went to the bathroom. People liked the blood situation. There's so much freakish, weirdish craziness going on when it comes to P. Diddy. She said animals were involved. There is so much freakishly weird going on here, and I'm going to tell you something. I believe every single word of it. Every single word of it. I believe that all of these celebrities that this person is naming are definitely involved 1,000%, and you're going to start see them trickling out, just like how Jay-Z was finally accused today. Please, if you were a victim of Jay-Z and Beyonce, you need to come out of the woodworks because we need to take all of these people down. They do not need to be idolized anymore.